Question 1. Given the circumstances, Sarah, an HR administrator, notices that the terminated employee's job record still shows as active because the termination action was applied without an effective date matching the actual last working day. How should she correct this to ensure accurate payroll and reporting? A. Change the termination action. Reason 2. Retroactive without adjusting dates. B. Re-enter the termination transaction with the correct effective date. C. Update the employee's status directly on the job table. D. Add future dated row for status change to inactive. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The termination must be processed using the correct effective date so payroll and downstream modules reflect accurate timing. Entering the transaction again with the right date maintains historical accuracy and preserves audit trails. Simply changing the action reason without adjusting date leaves data misaligned. Direct job table edits bypass system validations and may cause inconsistencies. Future dating the change incorrectly delays the inactive status, potentially allowing unearned pay or benefits. Question 2. In light of recent developments, PeopleSoft security policies require that user access is role-based to ensure compliance. If a payroll specialist complains about not seeing a needed page, what is the most appropriate troubleshooting step? A. Directly add the page to their favorites list. B. Verify and adjust their permission list assignment. C. Grant them a superuser profile temporarily. D. Modify the navigation path to bypass security. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Permission lists determine access to components and pages. Verifying and adjusting them addresses the root cause without violating security principles. Adding a page to favorites doesn't override access restrictions. Assigning superuser access breaches least privilege principles and increases risk. Changing navigation paths to bypass security undermines compliance and auditability. Question 3. By evaluating job data maintenance practices, an HRMS analyst must ensure that promotions are reflected correctly. What is the most critical step to maintain historical accuracy while entering a promotion? A. Replace the existing job row with updated title and pay rate. B. Add a new effective dated row for the promotion. C. Change the employee's department and pay directly in the job table. D. Delete the old record and create new one with updated data. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Effective dating is core to PeopleSoft, ensuring past data is preserved while new transactions are layered. Adding a new row records the promotion without overwriting historical information. Overriding existing rows erases history, compromising reporting. Direct table edits bypass validations and risk data integrity. Deleting old records disrupts continuity and compliance tracking. Question 4. The foundation of PeopleSoft navigation efficiency lies in user personalization. How can a manager quickly access frequently used components without bypassing security controls? A. Add the component to the favorites menu. B. Bookmark the direct component URL externally. C. Store the navigation path in a personal spreadsheet. D. Use SQL scripts to jump to the component. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Favorites allow secure, personalized quick access without altering permissions or exposing the system to external risks. Bookmarking URLs outside PeopleSoft can fail if session-specific parameters change. Keeping paths in spreadsheets doesn't improve system navigation and risks exposing sensitive links. SQL scripts for navigation bypass the UI, pose security risks, and are unsupported. Question 5. When analyzing the process of adding a new hire, which sequence ensures compliance with effective dating and downstream payroll processing? A. Create a personal data record, then job data with the hire date as the effective date. B. Create a job data record first, then personal data with the hire date. C. Enter both personal and job data without effective dates for system auto-assignment. D. Start with payroll setup, then link personal and job data. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. PeopleSoft requires personal data before job data to maintain integrity and proper linking. The hire date must be the effective date to align benefits and payroll. Reversing the order causes relational issues. Omitting effective dates risks inaccurate defaulting. Starting with payroll setup before personal and job data is non-compliant with workflow. Question 6. Through careful analysis of absence management data, Maria finds that an employee's leave balance appears inflated after transfer between departments. What is the most appropriate corrective action? A. Delete all leave transactions and re-enter them. B. Just a leave balance using an effective dated correction. C. Manually subtract excess leave from payroll. D. Change the employee's hire date to recalculate balances. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Effective dated corrections maintain audit trails and historical accuracy, aligning the balance without overwriting past data. Deleting transactions erases history, which is a compliance risk. Manual payroll adjustments may fix pay but not correct HR data. Changing the hire date affects multiple downstream calculations and can corrupt service history. Question 7. From the perspective of data security, if a PeopleSoft query returns sensitive employee data to unauthorized users, what is the immediate best practice response? A. Disable the query and review its associated security settings. B. Restrict the affected employee's personal data fields in the database. C. Remove all user access to the Query Manager tool. D. Change the setting to hide sensitive data. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Disabling the query stops the exposure and allows time for a security review of its permission lists and roles. Restricting fields at the database level can break legitimate processes. Removing all query manager access is overly broad and disrupts operations. Changing setting alters data segmentation but doesn't directly address unauthorized access. Question 8. Contrary to popular belief, correcting a payroll interface mismatch is not always about re-importing data. Which approach best addresses discrepancies caused by late job changes? A. Manually edit payroll output files. B. Rerun the interface after correcting job data with proper effective dates. C. Override payroll system data directly. D. Change the payroll calendar to match HR transactions. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Rerunning the interface ensures the payroll system reflects accurate, time-aligned job data. Manual file edits risk errors and bypass validations. Overriding payroll data can introduce inconsistencies and audit issues. Changing the payroll calendar to fit HR data disrupts standardized processing schedules and is operationally risky. Question 9. While examining regulatory compliance, an HR director needs to ensure benefit eligibility is correctly determined for employees across regions. What is the key PeopleSoft configuration that supports this? A. Location codes only. B. Regulatory region and setted. C. Department hierarchy. D. Action reason codes. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Regulatory region ensures compliance with local laws, while setted manages business rules and data sharing across entities. Location codes alone lack the legal segmentation capability. Department hierarchy affects reporting lines, but not legal compliance. Action reasons explain transactions, but don't control benefit eligibility. Question 10. During the process of troubleshooting a navigation issue, an HR support analyst finds that a user can access a menu but encounters no data found on the page. What is the most likely cause? A. Incorrect setted assignment restricting visible data. B. Corrupted menu structure in the portal registry. C. Missing component in the permission list. D. Expired user password causing data retrieval errors. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. If the menu is visible but the page shows no data, missing component access in the permission list is the likely cause. If the system loads the shell but not the secured content, incorrect setted affects data scope but wouldn't prevent loading entirely. Portal registry corruption is rare and usually affects broader navigation. Password expiration prevents login, not specific page access. Question 11. Under the assumption that PeopleSoft navigation is slow for certain users, what is the most efficient way for a payroll manager to reduce the number of clicks needed to reach a frequently used component without bypassing security? A. Create a navigation collection that includes the needed pages. B. Assign a new permission list with fewer components. C. Modify the component search record for faster filtering. D. Set the user's homepage to the target component. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Navigation collections group related components in a single menu path, improving efficiency while respecting existing security. Assigning new permission lists doesn't inherently speed up navigation and might change access scope. Modifying search records risks unintended search results and requires technical intervention. Setting homepage to component skips navigation but reduces flexibility and still requires effort. Question 12. From a practical standpoint, if an employee's department transfer is processed without updating the position number, what is the most likely downstream impact? A. Payroll deductions will stop entirely. B. Reporting lines and budgeting may be incorrect. C. Employee ID will change automatically. D. All historical job data will be deleted. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A mismatched department and position number causes reporting and budgeting errors because positions often drive department funding and reporting structures. Payroll deductions are tied to benefits and pay, not department alone. Employee IDs remain constant across changes. Historical job data is preserved through effective dating and is not erased by a department transfer. Question 13. Taking into account effective dating principles, what is the correct method for backdating? A salary increase to ensure payroll retroactivity is processed. A. Update the current row with the new salary and backdated effective date. B. Insert a new row with the backdated effective date and new salary. C. Change the payroll calendar dates to include the retroactive period. D. Override payroll manually for the affected pay periods. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Inserting a new row with the proper backdated effective date ensures that payroll retroactivity rules identify the change and calculate owed amounts. Updating the current row overwrites history, removing the record of the original salary. Changing payroll calendar dates disrupts all payroll cycles. Manual overrides address only one payroll run and bypass automated retro processes. Question 14. In a modern context of PeopleSoft security, how should an administrator handle a situation where a user needs temporary elevated access to process year-end benefits adjustments? A. Assign elevated roles permanently for convenience. B. Create a temporary role with the necessary permission lists and expire it after use. C. Share credentials of a high-privilege user. D. Add the user to an administrator role and remove them later without documentation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Temporary roles with set expiration ensure least privilege access, compliance, and audit traceability. Permanent elevated roles increase risk exposure. Sharing credentials violates policy and undermines accountability. Assigning and later removing roles without documentation lacks audit evidence and is non-compliant. Question 15. By comparing two similar employee records, an HR analyst notices one shows benefits eligibility incorrectly due to a mismatch in regulatory region. What is the correct remediation? A. Correct the regulatory region with an effective dated change. B. Update the employee's location code only. C. Recreate the employee record from scratch. D. Adjust benefit plan codes without changing the regulatory region. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Regulatory region controls legal and eligibility rules, so correcting it with an effective dated change maintains history and ensures compliance. Changing only the location doesn't address benefit eligibility tied to legal jurisdiction. Recreating the record disrupts history and causes duplication. Adjusting plan codes without fixing the root cause results in repeated eligibility errors. Question 16. When evaluating the merits of different data correction methods, why is directly editing the job table discouraged? A. It can bypass system validations and cause data integrity issues. B. It slows system performance significantly. C. It automatically resets effective dates to today. D. It prevents users from logging in. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Direct table edits bypass PeopleSoft's validation logic, risking corrupt data relationships and invalid effective dating. System performance impact is minimal unless large datasets are altered. Effective dates aren't reset automatically in the job table. Manual entry controls them. Logging capability is unrelated to job table edits. Question 17. Given the circumstances, a benefits administrator finds that an employee has two active enrollment rows for the same benefit plan. What is the best corrective action? A. Delete both rows and re-enter the correct enrollment. B. End date the incorrect row while preserving the correct one. C. Change the employee's eligibility group to remove both rows. D. Suspend the benefit plan entirely for all employees. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. End dating the incorrect row maintains historical data and prevents benefit duplication without erasing valid entries. Deleting rows removes historical evidence, which is non-compliant. Changing eligibility group affects all benefit assignments and is excessive for one employee. Suspending the plan entirely disrupts coverage for all participants and is an extreme inappropriate action. Question 18. The growing trend in system personalization has HRMS teams encouraging users to improve workflow efficiency. Which feature best allows users to create a custom dashboard of commonly used pages? A. My favorites. B. Work centers. C. Menu search. D. Component bookmarks in the browser. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Work centers provide a task-based dashboard with integrated navigation, queries, and links, optimizing workflow in one interface. Favorites store shortcuts but don't integrate tools and queries. Menu search helps find items quickly but is not dashboard. Browser bookmarks depend on static URLs, which can fail due to session changes. Question 19. To better understand the root cause of inconsistent time reporting data between time and labor and payroll, what should be verified first? A. That both modules share the same pay group and calendar. B. That employees have the same supervisor ID in both modules. C. That absence transactions are closed before payroll runs. D. That the payroll frequency matches the work schedule. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Pay group and calendar alignment is essential for accurate data transfer between time and labor and payroll. If these are mismatched, hours may not integrate properly, causing payroll discrepancies. Supervisor IDs do not affect hours transfer. Closing absence transactions ensures they are reflected in payroll. If left open, balances and pay may be incorrect. Payroll frequency alignment is important, but directly tied to time transfer errors. Question 20. Across different scenarios, a manager notices that the page displays only partial data for certain employees. Which is the most likely cause? A. The page uses data set controls tied to setted restrictions. B. The portal registry is missing the component definition. C. The user profile has expired. D. The employee's job record is missing an action reason code. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Dataset controls and setted restrictions limit visible rows based on security and configuration. Missing portal registry entries usually block the page entirely, not partially. Expired user profiles prevent login, not partial display. Missing action reason codes affect transaction recording, not visibility of unrelated data. Question 21. During the process of reviewing a termination record, Emma finds that the employee is still receiving benefits coverage. What is the most likely reason? A. The benefits termination process was not run after job status change. B. The employee's department was not closed in the system. C. The setted value for benefits was left blank. D. The position number was not removed. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Benefits coverage continues until the benefits termination process is executed, even if the job record is updated. Closing a department or removing a position does not automatically stop benefits. Leaving the setted blank may cause eligibility mismatches but does not maintain active coverage. Correct process execution ensures proper downstream updates. Question 22. By evaluating PeopleSoft user complaints about missing components, a security analyst discovers that the users have the correct permission list but still cannot see the component. What should be checked next? A. The component's navigation path in the menu structure. B. The user's role to permission list association. C. The setted mapping for the component's records. D. The portal registry cache refresh status. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Even with the correct permission list, if it's not linked to the user's role, the user won't inherit the access. Menu structure issues typically affect navigation, not access. Setted mapping controls data visibility, not menu display. Portal registry cache refresh helps with recent changes but won't fix missing role associations. Question 23. The primary reason for maintaining historical accuracy in job data when correcting an employee's job title is to A. Ensure that only the most recent record is stored. B. Retain previous job data for reporting and compliance. C. Speed up payroll processing cycles. D. Reduce the need for additional audit logs. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Historical accuracy supports reporting, legal compliance, and workforce trend analysis. Retaining old job data ensures complete employment history for audits and analytics. Removing older records compromises legal defensibility. Payroll speed is not the primary driver here, and audit logs complement rather than replace historical records. Question 24. From multiple perspectives, why should effective dates be used instead of overwriting existing job rows? A. To maintain historical integrity and support retroactive processing. B. To allow system indexes to refresh automatically. C. To ensure all reports pull only the most current data. D. To bypass security restrictions. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Effective dating preserves past records, allows retroactive calculations, and ensures compliance with audit standards. Refreshing indexes is unrelated to job data change method. Reports can be configured to show current or historical data as needed. Overwriting to bypass security violates system controls and policy. Question 25. While examining payroll interface mismatches, a specialist suspects job data changes are not transferring properly. Which factor is most likely causing the issue? A. Payroll system is using a different pay group from the HRMS. B. Employee's benefits plan is not updated. C. The location code is missing. D. The department has no assigned manager. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Pay group mismatches prevent proper alignment of job and payroll records, causing missing or incorrect transfers. Benefits plans, location codes, and department managers affect other functional areas but not the fundamental payroll data link. Question 26. In the absence of proper security maintenance, a terminated user account still has active PeopleSoft access. What is the first remediation step? A. Disable the user profile immediately. B. Remove all roles from the user profile. C. Revoke the permission lists assigned to the user. D. Delete the user profile entirely from the database. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Disabling the profile stops access instantly while preserving data for audit. Removing roles or permission lists works but is slow and requires knowing all associated elements. Deleting the profile erases history and removes valuable audit trails. Question 27. Historically speaking, why is setted configuration critical in large multi-business unit environments? A. It ensures that common data can be shared without duplicating records. B. It guarantees that all users have identical security access. C. It automatically aligns all calendars and schedules. D. It removes the need for effective dating. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Setted allows sharing of common data across business units while enabling differentiation when needed, reducing redundancy. Security access, calendars, and effective dating are controlled by other configuration elements, not Setted alone. Question 20. When faced with inconsistent absence balances after job changes, what is the most appropriate action? A. Review and adjust balances using effective dated transactions. B. Delete old transactions and start from scratch. C. Change the employee's hire date to trigger recalculation. D. Override balances directly in the database. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Effective dated balance adjustments preserve history and align with system calculation rules. Deleting transactions removes audit history. Changing hire dates impacts seniority and benefits calculations. Database overrides bypass validations and risk data integrity. Question 29. In contrast to a standard query, which PeopleSoft feature allows end users to run predefined reports without modifying SQL, A. Work centers, B. Pivot grids, C. Standard reports, D. Pagelets. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Standard reports are delivered, pre-built outputs that require no SQL changes. Work centers combine tasks and reports, but are not limited to predefined outputs. Pivot grids offer interactive data visualization, but require configuration. Pagelets are smaller UI elements used for dashboards, not full predefined reports. Question 30. The core principles of user access management dictate that granting broad access, just in case, is risky. What is the recommended approach? A. Use least privilege role assignments with periodic reviews. B. Assign all components and restrict them later. C. Use one default superuser profile for all HR staff. D. Provide temporary unrestricted access to speed processes. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. The least privilege principle minimizes risk by granting only necessary access paired with reviews to maintain relevance. Assigning all components increases security exposure. Shared superuser profiles violate accountability. Temporary unrestricted access invites accidental or malicious misuse.